Sup, Ryu here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Welcome to Coffee Time, your Monday evening discussion video. And before this video gets completely underway, there's no Therio this week because I am recording for Pokemon Council pretty much, and I need to get that done before we get to Sun and Moon next week. I think it's next week or the week after. But anyways, we're getting closer to that, so to make sure that it doesn't really interfere with anything really important on this channel, yeah, no Therio, sorry. And there's really not too much to talk about, but I got an amazing coffee time tonight for you guys, and that is how can Konami improve booster packs and booster boxes, just sets overall, and how they handle them. And this is something I've been bringing up quite a bit, and you probably heard me say on the Invasion Vengeance opening. And just for the record, I will be talking about Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, and Pokemon, just to cover all our bases here of what we're going to be going into in this video. So it will be Yu-Gi-Oh focused, but we're going to bring up those card games and the positives that those card games have and why they work in the way that they do, why Yu-Gi-Oh works in the way they do, pretty much just to bring the point home on improvement for the overall TCG. Just so we're clear there. If you're offended by that, this isn't the video for you, and it's completely understandable, so you could just exit out. Not that I want to make anyone angry, but I have a feeling some people are just going to get easily triggered, to say the least. Now, it's been said by more than just myself, if we look at two sets that are released around the same time, Pokemon X and Y Evolutions, and, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Invasion Vengeance, both of these sets are extremely different. One has a lot of nostalgia going for it, and, of course, some new cards, and one has a lot of, basically, well, not a lot, just a few meta changing cards, and that's it. So that's really not much. One costs $100 and the other costs around $65-$55 for a box and has two money cards. The other one has no real money cards, but you get your overall purchase money back, which is kind of funny. Now, I did say I was probably going to bring up Hearthstone at some point, and I will if I need to. I was just covering all bases there. So let's talk about the positives of Invasion Vengeance and why this video is happening. So, obviously, totally awesome, dimensional, that's a barrier, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's barrier. Dimensional barrier, and of course, a few other key cards for the Metaphos are great additions to any player who wants to play competitive, because you can use Totally Awesome with Winter Cherries. You can use Totally Awesome with Paleozoic. I talked about that being a nice Rogue One deck. That Rogue One freaking joke in there. I just had to. But in all seriousness, when it comes to it, maybe it's just, seeing that other side of the product of Pokemon makes me come back to Yu-Gi-Oh! And go, why are we spending $65 on this if we're not going to get our face value when it comes to it? And a lot of that has to do with the difference that Pokemon and, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Have. Pokemon's anime focuses on the monsters designed for the games, not the other way around, cards designed for the games from the anime. And a lot of the slots that are used up for Yu-Gi-Oh! Packs are taken away from, anime cards. And I don't mean to sound so negative about the anime, because who knows? Maybe the anime, is what keeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Around. Look at Magic the Gathering. They don't have an anime. They just have a really loyal, dedicated fan base, which can be super aggressive and toxic. But at the same time, you gotta understand, that makes fucking money. If we look at all the TCGs that are out there right now, if you're going for your biggest buck, you're probably gonna get it most with Pokemon. And that seems kind of crazy. Ryu, you're on crack, because Konami gives us one super rare per booster now, at the very least. Yeah, Pokemon has you get one holofoil, kind of rare card in a set, and then it doesn't really matter, because, like I said, when you're opening 36 booster packs for $100, you can't beat that retail price. That's 360 cards for $10. And even if you sell most of those at $1 a piece, you're guaranteed to make your money back. Your chances are much better than they are with Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's something that Konami needs to take into an account, instead of just rarity hiking everything to shit. Because rarity hiking everything, yes, is a short-term solution to problems that is financial based, but they need to focus on what makes other card games so popular, what keeps them going. And look at the strength that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a really dedicated fan base where everyone wants to play to win kind of thing to some degree. You're not going to want to constantly lose out on Yu-Gi-Oh! And when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like crack. once you play it, there ain't no going back, and it's a true to form, because at some point you made a return to the game even after leaving. It's very rare that you hear stories of people completely leaving it and never coming back to it years later. It's pretty much unheard of. Now, we do have a tight knit community, and of course, new people come in, some older people leave, and some people, of course, do YouTube and make it into a career. While others are not afraid to branch out to other card games, the backlash can be high because some people just want to only hear about Yu-Gi-Oh! But we need to look at the positives and negatives if we're going to pretty much want a better game going forward. We don't want the same old, same old. We want things to get better for, everything. And it could be said that, of course, things should die at some point because that's the natural order of things. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, for me, I want to see it improve, and that's why I'm making this video. So when it comes straight down to it, let me be frank. When I bought that Pokemon box, I felt like I got much more value, even not knowing complete values, than I did with Dark Illusion. And I know you guys are going to probably say, but Dark Illusions wasn't that great of a set. Invasion Vengeance is a better set. Even opening the box for Johnny for Invasion Vengeance, there wasn't as much hype going into that box opening as there was for the Pokemon. Now, you could blame nostalgia, you could blame whatever it was. But when I opened, like, the legacy kind of aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because God knows Konami milks them for the 20th year, whether it be the legendary decks, I don't get nearly as hype. It's cool to open it, and I don't want to sound like I'm just hating and I don't enjoy the game no more, because if there ever came a day that I enjoyed the game anymore, I'd be completely frank and honest and say it straight to every one of you. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say I enjoy the game only to freaking sit here and make YouTube videos. These YouTube videos are not like a freaking 5-minute process. There's a lot of hours that goes into it, and honestly, the most dedicated of the fans should pretty much be the ones doing the YouTube videos, because that would make the most sense, because we're the most, we're the ones who want to really do it the most, to be completely frank. Now, I may not be to the level of wanting to open a whole case of, freaking Invasion Vengeance, power to the people who do, but it's just not my kind of thing. And I think it's because I've always been built on I need to have my value for what I buy. I want my purchase to mean something. I don't want to... Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of like a gamble where Pokemon's like a guarantee you're going to end up being happy. I mean, for Pokemon, I just collect the stuff. I don't basically go after certain cards to build my deck, because I just like to play the Pokemon TCG. Kind of a casual thing. I don't have friends who play the Pokemon TCG, so we pretty much just play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I like the Pokemon cards. I've always liked them since I was a kid. It's what got me into trading card games. I would blame Magic the Gathering, but I wasn't nearly as excited for Magic the Gathering as I was for Pokemon, so there's that. But I know what people are going to say. Ryu, you shouldn't compare apples to oranges because you're not going to get the same product, but it's pretty much like comparing Overwatch to Destiny or to Call of Duty, You look at the best aspects of both and you say what works here, and I want to discuss it. I want a better product tomorrow because, honestly, $65 may not seem like a lot, and yes, I just dropped my cell phone, which has my notes. $65 may not seem like a lot to many of you, maybe not even myself. At the end of the night, you want every time you got to work for that money, you want it to mean something. That value of $1 is lost in translation compared to what it used to be 10, 20 years ago. Now it's, do I know the value of $5? Do I know the value of 10? But that's just something that I know people are going to be like, oh, just leave it alone. It's perfect the way it is. Nothing's ever completely perfect. If we want things to improve, we have to look at what is going wrong and ask ourselves, what would we want Konami to do? This allows for positive feedback without being so negative, and at the same time without worrying about, oh, am I sounding like a narcissistic son of a bitch about wanting a change for a booster set? If I don't like it, don't buy it. Well, to be fair, I still like collecting cards. At the end of the day, I still like Yu-Gi-Oh! So of course I'm still going to buy booster packs, but I'm not going to buy as much, and I'll buy more product if I feel the set is worth it. I'm willing to drop $100 on a Pokemon set because it really does feel like you're getting your value. That's not to say with all Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets you won't get it, because Duelist Alliance was a great set, a great example and a great set of you're going to get bang for your buck. And while we're on that discussion of that, Duelist Revolution was also chances are you'll get your bang for your buck. Here in Arsenal 1, you'll get your bang for your buck. You'll get your Bryonic. You'll or Bryonac, whatever however you want to phrase that. You'll get your, like the big synchros at the time for what that set had. There hasn't been too many sets like that. But I think moving forward, there needs to be more sets like that because if anything, Cardfight Vanguard, Hearthstone, all these like newer generations, there's not too many of them that really get out there and stay strong. Vanguard's proven it. Hearthstone's proven it. Hearthstone's not even like fucking physical. It's digital. So you can blame Blizzard for that, but I mean, come on, seriously. I don't even play the game, and it makes me want to play the game because it looks fun. I know it has the World of Warcraft lore, but it's not my kind of thing, but hey, it's pretty cool. Now, again, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Had something like Hearthstone, I think, besides YGO Pro, if YGO Pro wasn't there being free, I think obviously Konami would have a whole new way of just pulling in cash. But the reason I bring this entire video up in closing is because it's obvious as day for anyone who looks at Konami's stock to realize that their stock is declining and they're going to be looking for new ways to make more money. For them overnight to say we're going to put a holo in every single pack is not something that they just spur of the moment thought about or listen to feedback. It's something that says we want more money, we want to secure the game, we want the game to exist. That's pretty much what it is, and it's respectable because they need to make that money. But you guys let me know what you think down below. Of course, I'm reading for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, and that has been coffee time. The following is a mini little update because there's really not much. So, what can I really say about the channel going forward that it hasn't really been said already for the update? It's just pretty much we're getting closer to Sun and Moon. I'm going to be extremely hyped about that. So don't be surprised if videos slow down just a little bit to make more room, of course, for the Pokemon Council's upload schedule. Because that will take priority. Sorry, it just is what it is. But don't ever think I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Tech Tuesday. Till then, peace.